Hey yo, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, where niggas hold.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Julia and for today's video I'm gonna be doing some DIY home decor. Besides watching shitloads of series and playing World of Warcraft for an unreasonable amount of time, I've also been trying to be a bit more creative with my hands and doing some more physical stuff instead of just being on the phone and on my computer. Also because I feel like this amount of information that we've been getting on the world situation right now is quite stressful and is giving me low-key anxiety. Therefore, I've just been wanting to do some more creative, fun stuff. This video is also in collaboration with Skillshare. I've collaborated with them so many times before, but in case you guys don't know, it's a great online community where you can learn a bunch of stuff, whether you want to be productive or just manage some stress by doing some creative classes. Skillshare has that for you. Skillshare is also giving away 2 months of free premium membership to the first 1,000 people who click the link in the description, and after that it's only $10 a month. They had this entire playlist of creative classes such as painting and scrapbooking and sculpting, and I saw this ceramics at home by Emily Reinhardt, so I wanted to try and recreate that, but let's be real, it didn't turn out that well. I found this air dry clay at home that I tried with, but it didn't really turn out the way I wanted, but it was at least fun to make. So in case you are good with your hands and know how to sculpt things, go ahead, this is great for you. So I kind of just like moved on to my next DIY project. So the first one I'm gonna show you guys is this DIY basket that I made. Like, yo, I fucking made this. I'm so proud of myself, like wow. So to make a reed basket, you first need to get some reed. I got this from my local craft store in 3mm thickness. So I soaked the reed in hot water before I started working with it to avoid breakage. Starting off with cutting the reed in 8 smaller pieces, this was gonna form the base. I think I made it to 30 to 35 centimeters. You can really adjust this later on if you're not sure how wide you want it. So I first did 3 rounds of just regular over and under to make sure that the sticks were secured to start off my base. After 3 rounds, I started separating the 4s into 2s and just continued weaving over and under. Make sure that it's always secure and fastened as you go. Then you can start by attaching another length of reed so that you have 2 lanes that you're working with at the same time. And now basically all you do is weaving over and under to form your basket.
Slick with words, don't hate me, son. What you eat don't make me shit, and who you fuck don't.
To attach another length of reed, just overlap it under the end of the reed you've been working on to hide the edges.
My words gon' live forever. You put 2 and 2 together, cold here forever.
I cut 16 additional pieces of reed so that I would stick this into the base so that I could start shaping the height of the basket. I made this about 45 centimeters, so I had about 10 centimeter extra than my desired length of the basket.
Niggas paper head, but the pussy so separate. Same bitch giving brains to the minister. The same reason they call Ethnicity the finisher. Forbidden fruit, watch for the Adam's apple. Slick with words, don't hate me, son. What you
I separated the 2s into 1s so that the basket would have more stability, but as I went, I noticed that it was still a bit shaky, so I added 2 additional sticks into each of the base. I'm honestly not really sure what everything is called, so if I'm not using the correct terms, I'm so sorry. You just continue weaving until you finish your basket. The technique is the same all throughout the weaving process. To show you guys one more time how to add another length of reed, basically tuck it in under the end piece and just continue weaving as usual. as you reach your desired length, now you're gonna finish off the basket. So now you're just gonna have the sticks going upwards and you wanna tuck these away. So there are multiple ways you can do this, but I just figured this would be the easiest for me as I've never done this before. I took one end and folded it over and then under, and then I just kept on doing that till I reached the end, and the last one I tucked into the first one. I really hope this makes any sense because I'm not even sure if I'm explaining this right. When that was done, I just made sure to fix any bends or cutting off any pieces that were flying out with some pliers. And then you're done. It's actually quite easy. It looks hard, but it's mostly like time consuming. I think it took like 3 hours, but that was also because like I kind of made it so big. So I'm probably gonna use this for storage or just as a vad fan heter kruka? En kruka för växter. My next DIY project that I did is super easy. This is foolproof. You cannot fail at this. So basically, all I did was paint my own vases by using some old bottles that I had laying around. I mean, if you've been drinking or just have some random glass bottles, this is the DIY for you. So all I did was using some acrylic paint and a sponge because I like that effect more than using a brush, because using a sponge gives it a really nice texture.
비가 올 때마다 욱신거리네 우리의 실수도 이 위에 씻기길 별일이 아닌 듯이 구름같이 되돌이도 그칠 거야 비가
This beige one is actually just an old juice bottle that was hella fancy that I never threw away. This one was, I think it was like some liquor that was in it, but I really like the bottle and I gave it a nice gradient effect by using the sponge. So this is some great DIY interior. Like if you're a bit more artsy-fartsy than me, you can probably paint something nicer, but yeah, I'm not that crafty with the arts in that way, but I really like it minimal like this. And my last DIY are these homemade candles. To make the concrete candle, I've used a Pringles jar as a mold, and then I got some hobby concrete from my local craft store and just started mixing it according to the instructions, which was for me 10:1. So I used 200 grams of concrete and mixed in 20 grams of water. I just made sure to mix this thoroughly and then I poured it into the Pringles can. So basically now to make the shape, you just press it down, but you also want to slide it or press it irregularly onto the sides because I was looking for an asymmetric shape. I let it sit overnight. So the following day I started prepping my candle. So I got my wick and tied it onto a chopstick because that's what I had at home. And then to melt the candle wax, I made a hot water bath. So I kept it under a simmer so that it wouldn't be too aggressive of a boil. And then I poured in my candle wax and just melted it. This is optional, but I added some essential oils and I had lavender at home, so that's what I used. I noticed that my wick didn't really stay in place, so to solve this, since I didn't have any glue, I dipped it in the candle wax a few times so that it would get kind of sticky, and then I tried to like pin it or poke it onto the surface of the concrete. And then I just poured in the wax and let it cool for about a day. I also made another candle using some black pellets to dye the candle wax, but honestly I wasn't really happy with this result because I felt that it wasn't really as black as I wanted to, but turned it into a more bluish purple color. But I poured this into a peanut butter jar, so be creative and use whatever you got at home to make these candles. The day after, I noticed that my candle wax had hardened but kind of sunk into the center. So I just fixed this by melting some more wax and pouring it in. When the wax hardened, it was basically done. So now I just cut up the mold and the candle was done. I'm so happy with this result. I was kind of worried that this would be a total failure, but I'm actually the most happiest with this DIY out of all the ones I did. This turned out to be exactly what I had imagined it to be. That was it for my DIYs. I really hope you guys like this video. And yeah, if you try something out, do let me know. Oh, by the way, so I have one more DIY that I want to show you guys. It's literally the easiest DIY ever, but it looks so cute. So I made this table out of just some concrete blocks that I got for super cheap. The result is just so cute because we didn't really have a sofa table, but I didn't really find anything that I liked, so I just went for this one and I'm so happy with it. Just get some lightweight concrete building blocks and stack them together and boom, you have a table.